Hey there, it's Mollie of Design Loves Details. So excited because we're doing a console table styling today. I got a new table that came for a collaboration I'm doing with Joss and Maine, and I cannot wait to show you how I style this up. It's gonna be super fun, and it's been forever since I've done a console video, so stay tuned. When I'm styling a table like this, I like to start with the biggest pieces first so that we kind of can see the scale and proportion of everything and then kind of the balance, because I definitely have some larger pieces I'm using with this, and so I want to make sure that those feel balanced with the other side. Let me show you what I got. Okay, so this is the large version of the vase that I got I recently did a reel, you guys might remember, that was a smaller version of this vase for these awesome faux branches. Well, I got the larger one. There's actually a small, medium, and large, and this is the large, and I also have that small that I'll show you in a second. And I'm loving how huge this is, you can see. And so it's gonna be a really cool piece because we have tall ceilings in this house, and so this really is going to add some great height. I'm gonna put this on this side over here and get these greens arranged so they feel really natural. Honestly, like you can kind of just throw them in and they kind of do their thing. And then I'm gonna bring in that smaller vase to go with this. Here's that. So it's quite a bit smaller. And I think they look so good together. I like to have shapes like this that repeat, so kind of having two of them feels nice. And then of course, this is kind of like a dark color. It's like almost black. It's a really, really dark gray with a little bit of variation, which I love, but I wanna bring in something that's gonna balance that. So I'm gonna bring in a little bit of black, I think, on the other side to kind of help this not feel too heavy on this side. Gonna fix these because they had kind of a little bit of a hole in the middle. So we're gonna balance that a little. Don't be afraid to like really bend these greens that have all the wires in them. That's what they're for, is so that you can get them just right. So here's this piece that is gonna bring a little bit of black onto this side. I love that this has kind of a cool shape and then a little texture to it with the wood beads. So that kind of helps balance the black over here. Whoop. And let's also talk really quick about the foundation here. I've got the table, which is so pretty. It's got this marble top with the wood base. And then I wanted just a really clean, round black mirror. And I hung that about, I think it's about 7 inches above the table height. I usually go somewhere between 6 to 9 inches above, because I don't want the item above the art or the mirror to feel like it's just floating off and not grounded. So that's a really important thing, is when you're doing a mirror or artwork above a console table, kind of shoot for in that range. Keep it under 12 inches for sure. Usually in that 6 to 9 inches is what I do. And I think I might move this over just a little bit because we do kind of want it to interact with the mirror some. In the middle, I'm gonna go for an item that's maybe lower, since we have some height on both sides. Of course, I'm still gonna let this be like my dominant side, but this gives a little height and that balance with the black. So I think I'm gonna bring in something lighter for right here and a little bit shorter. Definitely love books, especially these pretty neutral ones. So gorgeous. I usually check the spine to make sure it's nice and clean and simple. And then this is a really fun piece that I often use on top of books because it's just kind of, it's like plaster looking and just really fun for, you know, just adding a little something. Yeah, I love that this is just kind of like smaller, but still interesting and gives a little different shape than our typical circles or squares or rectangles that we might have. And usually, like if I'm doing bookshelves or consoles like this where there's more than one shelf, if we do books on one shelf, I also want them to be on the other shelf so that we have sort of some balance between, and I'm gonna put these the opposite way. So these ones are going spine forward and horizontally, and these are, well, I guess they're all, you could also stand them up, but these are I'm gonna lay flat too, but I think I'm gonna put them this direction so that they're kind of mixing it up a little bit, but then still something that ties in between the shelves. And then lastly, I got this really cool stone tray. You can kind of see that, really fun. It's pretty flat, like, so it's kind of unique, but it has like a raw edge, which I love. And then a magnifying glass is another kind of favorite that I have. They're useful and they look cool. And I got this one for like 10 bucks at Marshall's. So anyway, this is heavy. This is another piece from Joss and Maine. And we'll just kind of slide this in here. I love the organic shape to it. It makes it unique as well. And then this has got like the bone inlay handle, which is fun. I'm just gonna kind of set that on here just so it kind of looks a little bit, you know, you want some of it to feel sort of like it just landed there and naturally, you know, felt balanced. This is kind of the goal. And then that color kind of ties in that charcoal gray black that we have, so that we have it kind of going in a pattern like this. I usually try to do some type of a zigzag pattern. Like if I'm doing shelf styling, I talk about this sometimes, having a similar color tie-in from one shelf to the next, and it kind of goes in a zigzag pattern. I sort of did that here, but it's just gonna go here, down, up, so that we have something that kind of moves your eye through. And I'm loving, though this is asymmetrical, that there is still a sense of balance and it feels interesting and fun, and that we have very minimal colors. I wanted to keep it clean feeling because even though this console is sort of minimal itself, with it having the double shelf, it can get where it feels cluttered and busy, and I wanted to avoid that. I wanted to maintain the table still being like a piece of art, because it really is. It's got such a gorgeous leg on it and detail, and just with the stone top, this marble, it's like really a piece of art itself. So I really wanted to preserve that being the case, that you could really appreciate it even with these other items added. So definitely something to think about with your furniture pieces, that they don't get lost in whatever you're putting on them. So that's why I went more minimal, and I do like the repetition of, we do have kind of the circle shape here and in the mirror, and then the repetition of the books. So you can kind of see just like how that created balance in an asymmetrical way. So these are some of my favorites. I'm gonna link them for you guys so you can shop, and they really do work great on shelves or coffee tables as well. Same kind of concept for a lot of these pieces, which is really great. And just so excited about these huge new vases that I got, and the table. And anyway, a couple of these are new things, like the tray too, that I was able to mix in. It's just fun to get new pieces, even though I do use some of my like classic staples. Like I was saying, you know, that book, the piece on top of the books, and then the books themselves, I just use. I feel like you can't have enough coffee table books, and I always buy ones that are like interesting, and I really do read through them. I mean, I don't read the words, but I read the pictures. I look at the pictures. So they do get put to use, and they are pretty to look at as well. So I'll link everything, like I said, in description. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified of future videos. Let me know what you guys think, if you like this new table and this kind of more minimalist style. It's really just kind of like that natural wood, a little greenery, and then the cream, black, tan, really neutral tones with the black and white. I think it's pretty classic. So anyways, appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time.